You're trying to escape from here, aren't you? I want to see how far you can make it before your head is chopped off.
Hello and welcome to round number 9 of the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. This is Road America. So for Race Verse, I'm Matt Houston, the broadcaster here tonight. Quickly run through the people that pay the bills here. So that is... Let me pull that up here. Hagerty Insurance and Treakle Insurance Agency. So Treakle Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance. And they've teamed up with Hagerty Insurance to provide collector car coverage as well as race car and track day coverage. If you're in the Virginia, Marshall area of Virginia, and really anywhere in Virginia, check them out if you're interested in any auto, home, business, and life insurance. And of course, like we said earlier with Hagerty Insurance, they have that collector car coverage and race day track day coverage. Another one of our sponsors here paying the bills is Beltway Brewing Company. Thirsty for an award-winning local craft beer? Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia, and proudly represents the DMV. Try their lineup of original handcrafted IPAs, lagers, sour stouts, and even seltzer, and you can order directly from their website, beltwaybrewco.com, for contact-free delivery right to your door, or head on over to their Sterling tap room to pick it up, hang out in the tap room, have a nice time, I'm sure. So... Road America, one of my favorite circuits. Actually did run these cars in a 6-hour event. This is back last summer where I did actually run the BMW GTE here, and didn't go the best, but you know, I did run it for three and a half hours of the 6-hour race, and I have a ton of experience here in the IndyCar, and back when I used to run the Pro Mazdas as well. So one of our sponsored drivers here, Treakle Insurance, Darren Treakle, heading us around the course. Looks like an updated livery here for Darren this week. Let's see if we can get a little bit up close and personal with that one. Does have Hagerty Insurance on the side, so might have heard last week when we were talking to Sten Cellier, the proprietor of the Beltway Brew Co., because he has a Beltway Brew Co. car. So I don't think he's here though, otherwise we would have featured him as well. Let me just look through the list here. Is Sten here? I don't see him in here yet, so maybe he'll be in later. Otherwise, we're about 16 minutes left in qualifying. Familiar face at the front, currently parked in the pit, is Christopher Hill. Treakle P2. Hendrik Deswart back here. He wasn't here last week, missed a race, but he's back here this week. He joined us in the chat for some good discussion on the race, and he'll be back in the car this week. Looks like times are really close here. This is a familiar track for a lot of these drivers. This is one of the most famous tracks in all of North America, if not the world, honestly. Road America is a pretty special place. It's been the home of kart, IndyCar, sports car racing. I think even NASCAR has started to come here, as Lanik is coming up on Stover there. See if Stover, nope, does not opt to get out of the way or anything like that. Lanik's certainly faster. through the carousel here. We'll go on board maybe when we come across the start-finish line with Lanik to take us around here. Of all the tracks that I cover on this channel, this is probably the one that I actually do know, like, by in memory, the names of all the corners and all the well, I wouldn't say I remember the corner numbers, because they have a really odd numbering system at this track. So iRacing considers this a 12 corner track, but the official track map has it at 14 corners, and there's some corners that are like 3A and things like that. So let's go on board here with Peter. As he's going to take us around here. We head down the Road America straight. Several long straightaways on this track. We're going to do a fast sweeping right-hander into turn 1. There's a slight kink right here. That is considered turn 2. And then we're on to turn 3, which is a real corner, if you ask me, onto the rumble strips. And then there's another slight kink in the course. I wouldn't really consider this a corner, but they call it 3A. Another slight kink up above. Right here is corner number 4. And then we arrive at turn 5, hard braking zone. That, and after the kettle bottom straight into Canada corner, will be the next really fast hard braking point. But this one was turn 6 into turn 7, a fast right-hander into turn 8, which is another hard braking point. That was through the hurry downs, then into the famous carousel section. Going to see a lot of action here tonight as these cars struggle for grip as the tires come up to temperature. So that's turn 9 on the Exodus 10. Onto this back straightaway. And through the kink here is what this corner is called. That is turn 11, the kink. This is where you're going to hit the fastest speeds on the track, though. Although going in turn 5 is pretty fast as well. They're pretty equal. Hard onto the brakes into Canada corner is turn 12 right here. So I'll mention a little bit of history about Canada corner here in a bit. Through turn 13 and 13A. And then on to turn 14, and that will take us for a lap, about 2 minutes here at Road America. And this is across the start-finish line. And that is Peter Lanik taking us for a lap there here at the Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. It's a really good vacation place if you're in the Midwest area. This is a great place to go. I have to check when the actual IndyCar race is going to be. I think it's in June. That's they've kind of moved the race around a bit, but there's another awesome track not too far from here, Milwaukee Mile, that the Indy cars would run, but they're currently running Road America, and it's a really successful event. So if you want some cheese and a bratwurst, this is the place to come. And maybe pack your Beltway Brewing Company in the cooler. Well, I don't know if they're going to let you bring the cooler, but maybe smuggle it in or something like that. Certainly successfully done that before. As Raphael here had an off last week, although he recovered and finished on that podium. Trace Hance not having set a lap yet as he mows the grass a little bit here. Darren Treakle, our sponsor, goes on the Road America straight here. He's only 0.3 off Christopher Hill in provisional pole. Fast through this sweeping right-hander Treakle Insurance, Hagerty Insurance car there. I think one of the coolest things on these cars is when they're just driving around with the lights on during the day. It looks pretty neat. And yeah, as people come into the broadcast, let me know who you want to see out here. We had a really good discussion last week with our guys out there. And I know the drivers here really appreciated their fans coming out and having a good showing. We even interviewed probably the most popular driver of the race. Even though they weren't on the podium, we interviewed him anyway. So that's the key to getting an interview here on Race First, is to be really popular. And yeah, that was Sten Sellier, Beltway Brew Company. He had a really great race last week, finishing in the 6th position. So unfortunate not to see him here tonight, but he might be a little busy, you know, maybe brewing something there at the Beltway Brew Co. Never can tell. Hendrick here, actually helped us out on the broadcast by interacting with the fans last week, and he's back here. He's always in the top 5, I'd say, here. Maybe he doesn't finish there, or things happen and set him back, but he's one of our fast guys out here. That familiar number 69, pink rims on the car. As he almost had some coming together there. He was trying to avoid some people, and they whoa, that was close. 100% sure who that was. Let me bring up my information on what incidents are occurring so that we have that. It might have been Yerxa. Could have been Hans as well. We've got a lot of off tracks, so it's hard to keep up with, but I'll at least have that set up for later. Head back to Hendrick up here. Hendrick about half a second down as Treakle moves into the 202s, and he's going to park it as well. I don't know if I would park it if I was him, because I would want to be using, bringing down that fuel. Did he have an off or maybe impact the wall or something? No, he just pulled it off. So don't want to give away the strategy too much, but if I was one of these drivers, I would want to, unless he's out of fuel, that's another story. This is a long 4-mile course. We'll be doing 30 laps, but yeah, you'd want to be running with some low fuel. That would be my strategy anyway. But he just pulled it off there. Back on the track now, though, trying to do one better. Colin Kordenik here. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly this week. He did send me a little message on the pronunciation there. I was getting it pretty close, but I told him it's always difficult when somebody says the correct pronunciation of their name to actually get it correct after you've kind of... how many races have I broadcast here? Probably 10 or 11, and to get a name change at that point in time is tough for the broadcaster, the commentator, to relearn. So Colin Kordenik in this Hooters car, he'll let me know if I got it right or not. Hendrick goes faster on his last lap, but he is in the pits once again. Trace Hance goes P3. I knew he'd be fast. If he just got it together. A lot of off tracks here so far. Really easy. It's kind of although the course is 4 miles, it has some particularly narrow parts. So it's quite challenging, and it's easy to get an off here and there. And being that it's a 4-mile course, it takes 2 minutes to get around. All that matters is getting, one tire off, and then your lap is invalidated. So that's iRacing's rules, is when you have an incident during a lap, it no longer counts for qualifying. So that's why it's important that you don't get one. Trace Hance using all the track, it appears. Yeah, he's going right up to the curb, so I think that's why he's one of the quick ones out here. He's only 2/10 back on our leader. I did hear that we had some new members join this week. I'm not seeing Salada here back in back of the field here. He's one of our new guys, but I did hear that we've been recruiting some in this league, and basically BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter, we run every week on Thursday just about, and we also run a race on Wednesdays as well. It's kind of a exhibition race before the big show here. And we'd love to have you if you're interested in driving these BMW GTE cars, the M8. They also mix it up, though. Occasionally they'll run, there's like, 3 or 4 different BMW cars on the iRacing services. We ran the Z4, or Z4 for my European friends, in the season last season. Next season, I think we're going to be running the M4 GT3, I believe. That'll be interesting to see. Just over a little under 4 minutes left in this qualifying session. These, they had a half hour to get all these laps in, but at a 2 minute a lap time, you're only going to get at most 15 laps in during this session. Oh, we got a car off, out of the way of Trace there. So we'll have a really interesting rolling start coming up. The guys told me that I think they might have had a standing start during the exhibition race last night, and it did not go very well. We for everything this season we're running rolling starts, so shouldn't have to worry about that. But it can certainly be very tight into the first corner here. So these guys only have about 2 minutes left to go. Everybody out here. Top 5 guys are really, really quick here. Between Hill, Treakle, Hans, Hendrick, and Rafa here. And actually Lanik has moved into, everybody top 6 are within 0.8 of a second of one another. We've got 3, actually Hans, I was going to say we got 3 cars in the 201s, but Hans just missed out by 0.04 of a second. He's still in the 202s though. Actually look here real quick, I've got this on my overlay here. What is the average speed? So these, lap times, you can see Hill up there in P1, he's doing it. That lap time equates to an average speed of 117 miles an hour. So you can see those top 4 guys are within the same mile an hour for their speed. All the way to the back of the grid, down to 111. Salada's new here though, so he's going to be learning the ropes, getting laps under his belt. We can hope the best for him and just try to finish this race and get all the experience you can. That'll be the most valuable thing you can do. You don't want to crash it. As the rookie, you don't want to crash it on the first lap and then come away with, nothing having been learned past don't crash on the first lap. So you want James here to survive, and, if you survive, you can possibly break into the top 14, heck, even the points if other drivers don't survive this one. I have about 30 seconds left until checkered flag, but flying laps will count, so we'll probably have a couple 2.5, 3 minutes after the checkers to finish up everybody that is on a hot lap before we run to the grid and get our 30-minute race going. Really, really tight there between first to third. A little bit of a gap back to fourth, but still really tight anyway. Can Trace Ants? Trace Ants cannot. Let's have a quick look at that. You won't appreciate us doing a replay, but what happened there? Oh boy. I want to have a look at that. Let's go on board here with Trace. I think he just pulled it off and ran into the wall to stop the car as we did finish up. Yep, there he goes. He turns it. You can see that. Oh boy. It's all on purpose there, folks. These cars don't cost anything. The repairs are free. Don't have to worry about safety rating here in these unofficial races, or in these hosted races, I should say, better than unofficial. Treakle's going to go across the line. Can he do any faster? Close, but he was about a tenth off of his fastest lap. So I think we are done, although we've got a couple minutes left. I think we should just run through the grid here. Everybody has finished their laps, it appears. So let's go through the grid here. So BMW Car Club of America, round number 9 from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, Road America. Christopher Hill is starting P1. Darren Treakle of Treakle Insurance Agency is P2, Trace Hance in P3, Hendrik Deswart in P4, Rafa Torres in P5, Peter Lanik in P6. Heading on to the 4th row of the grid, Dean Thuline in 7th, Colin Kordenik in P8, Brian Kennedy in P9, Peter Yerksa in P10. That's a really good qualifying there by Peter. Brian Hare in P11, Scott Kim, our admin there, in P12. Bobby Blankenship in P13, Michael Bond in P14, John Wood in P15, Matthew Stover in P16, Stephen Tenney, P17, Tim Bradford, P18, Robert Benson, P19, and rounding out the back of the field there, James Salata, our new driver here in the series. Number 1 car, though, so he's got a lot to show for driving the number 1 car, so good luck to him tonight. His first round of the series here. We'll get this thing going in a moment. Let's take a moment to show off and pay some bills here. Say hi to our valuable sponsors out there. Hagerty Insurance and Treakle Insurance. So Treakle Insurance is an independent insurance agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance. They've teamed up with the Hagerty Insurance to provide collector car coverage as well as race car and track day coverage. So we went over that plenty during the race and during previous races. Check them out, treakleinsurance.com. The number was right there as well. We got track day coverage. You want to make sure that your car is insured when you accidentally run it into the wall there at VIR or something. Hit that oak tree. You don't want to do that. So let's see, what do we got here? We're setting up. Cars on the grid here. Probably a short pace lap here. Yeah, we're going to be taking a Porsche pace car. We have the option of doing a complete pace lap. We don't want to do that, though. And pace car ducks off already. We'll see if we can keep this thing clean. Christopher Hill is going to bring us to the green flag. And there it is. See if we have any contact. Green flag waves. Tight between Treakle and Hill. Treakle on that outside, and there's contact between Hill and wow, we have a lot of contact there. Hendrick off. We're going to have Trace Hance going into the lead. Rafa Torres in P2. We'll get a replay of that start there in a moment here, but we are green, taking out Chris Hill and Darren Treakle, though, unfortunate business there for them. We'll get a look at that. Once again, though, really tight racing between those guys. Hendrick was off, though, but he's made it back to 5th position, it looks like. Oh, we have Cordonic getting it in the back there. But from Brian Kennedy, more contact in the back. And that was that Hill again? I think Hill had a little bit more contact there. We do have, we're going to have a pit stop at some point. We had another car off there. They said it was going to be crazy. They were right. Peter Lennox moved into the 3rd position there. You have to wonder, and Hendrick there, P4. Cordonic, P5, although he got it really bad in the rear there. I think he should be okay, though. The car that did the rear end hitting there, probably in a worse shape. Oh, we have some cars off. It is really tricky on cold tires through the kink there, as we saw. Is that Michael Bond or Thuline? Thuline. Let's see if we can get up a quick replay of that. We're going to go back to the starting one in a moment. So you're going to see through this kink here, Dean Thuline. Let me bring that up. He's just going to lose it through the kink here. We'll see what happens. Did he take too much curb? Yeah, he took a lot of curb. And Hendrick there might have had some issues too. Can we see what Hendrick had? We're just going to rewind this and see if we can see something. Yeah, he had an issue as well. Uncharacteristic there. All right, well, Trace Hance is going to lead our first lap. Rafa there is in P2, but we're going to go back and see if we can get a replay of that start. If we can, anyway. Yeah, we're going to have a look at this start here. So let's see, can we get a better look here? Let's actually go up to the blimp. And we're going to watch Hill there. The lead cars, a black car in the front and Treakle there on the outside, although we're going to go through the... We'll go to the chopper instead. Oops. We do not want that. All right, well, let me double check here. We wanted Hill. Hill had more contact here after this. Another car, Salata, off in the background there as well. But he keeps it going, it looks like. So heading at, Rafa has taken over the lead position, so Trace Hance having an issue there. Now Hance and Lanik having a little bit of contact into Canada corner. A lot of contact there. Cordonic up to P4, started P8. Now Hance gonna try to make a move on Lanik into the first corner here. We know Hance is fast, and he's gonna go inside, and it looks like Lanik's gonna let him have that position, but we'll see if he can come back into the next straightaway. I think is the best passing point for him. He'll have a good slipstream there. Bobby Blankenship's up to 5th place, really good run by him as well. But this is the battle between Lanik and Hance. Rafa Torres up there in P1. Not going to happen this lap for Lanik. We know Hance is really quick here. Having started in P3, Lanik started in P6, so... And Rafa here in P5, so we know Hance can be possibly faster than Rafa, at least on an ultimate lap, but we'll see how this develops here. Scott Kim is running in a 6th. That is our admin here. Where is, so Hendrick way back in the pits getting a repair, possibly a black flag, something like that. Another car on pit line, that is Stover back there. So Hill has opted to stay out, and so has Treakle there. Those are our first and second position, are running in the 10th and 11th position. Everybody's going to have to do a pit stop here about halfway through the race, though, so for fuel. They only started with 40% fuel, and that'll be not enough to make it for 40 laps here tonight. Or, sorry, for 30 laps, 30 minutes, pardon me. Hans has brought down that lead ever so slightly to Rafa there in P1. A really tight battle here between John Wood and Scott Kim. Wood looking inside of Kim into the first corner. Wood just a little bit later on the brakes there, gets around Kim. Kim's blinks out there for a moment. It looks like Brian Harris also going to try to have a look as well, and they come together out of the third corner there. Kim is not going to be happy about that. He's spinning it around in the grass back here. Can he get it straightened out? Oh boy, these hot tires in the grass, not fun. And Kim's going to drop back to about 14th position there, as I'm sure he's swearing mightily on the voice chat. So Hendrick is a lap down, but he's right up there with these guys. Hill has moved up into all this as well, and he's going to try to get around these cars as well. That's Michael Bond back here in the P10 position. At the front, Hans has slowly digging into that lead. We'll keep an eye on that as the night continues. Treakle's up to P7, so Treakle got around some cars, as looks like Hendrick trying to go around Brian Hare, and then we're going to have Hill also looking to get around these cars as well. You can see Brian Hare a little bit of damage on one of those on that front fender. Hendrick's going to go around. Hill's going to go around. Hill, our pole sitter here, and almost the pole sitter just about every other week we run this. Hare's gonna put a move on Hill here. Hill didn't have a good exit out of the final corner there, and Hare's gonna go deep into the corner. He's gonna make it stick too. Michael Bond back there is also, just trying to wait and see if one of these guys makes a mistake. Now Hill's gonna look to make a move through the Moran Straight into turn 5 coming up. As we said earlier, we're through 3A and 4, not really corners, but they claim to be corners. Did not have a move. I feel like Hill doesn't have the straight line speed right now, although honestly Hare's front looks just about as bad as Hill's does. Up in the P6 position, so Bobby Blankenship there in the 5th spot, and Treakle has caught up to him. He's about 9.5 seconds back to 4th position. And I have to imagine that Treakle's in a prime position to make a move here as they head through the Kettle Bottoms and towards Canada Corner. So apparently Canada Corner is, sometimes they'll tell you it's the northernmost corner on the track, but I heard a different story, that it was related to the Canadian fans, the Canadian fans hanging out in that corner and leaving a bunch of cans of Molson beer in that corner, and that's why the track workers started calling it the Canada corner. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's a story that I heard about Road America. The other more PC story is that it's the northernmost corner, and that's why they call it Canada Corner. As Treakle's going to look inside a Bobby Blankenship. Christopher Hill's working on Brian Hare still back here. Can't make it work. And Treakle gets around Bobby Blankenship. On these straightaways, it just seems like Hare can't, Hill can't make up any ground on Hare. Just down on the speed there. He'll try to get some repairs when he comes into the pits. We'll see what he needs to have done. Oh, is he, well, that's another method for getting around there. He uses the old chrome horn to get around, Brian Hare there. Brian not going to be too appreciative of that, I don't think. So let's quickly get a replay of that little battle here. So they were heading through turn 5. They both had not the best exits out of that corner, and he gives them the chrome horn, a little bit of bumper on the back there, and unfortunately Brian Hare goes into the wall. We'll have to see, though. They do have an incident limit here, and it is a pretty tight incident limit. And we'll see how that works out for Hill here. He might have accumulated quite a bit so far. He might have a hold in the pits here if he gets, I think it's 12 or 14 incidents. And the way these cars are going off and that first lap stuff that he had, might have some issues there. Looking through the field, trying to find some other close battles. Kennedy's back on the track. Sorry, that was Hare who was off the track. Kennedy's on here. He's about 0.8 of a second back from Michael Bond. And if Hill was slow on these straightaways before, he's going to be even slower now. So we'll see how that works out for him. Kordanik here is in 4th. He's gaining ground on Lanik in P3. Hill's up to P8. We'll see what kind of ground he can make up on John Wood up here. I don't think he's going to have to pit. We're about halfway through here. It's estimating that we have 9 laps to go in this 30-minute race. We'll take a quick moment to talk about our people that pay the bills here in the series. Treakle Insurance. So Treakle Insurance is an independent insurance agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance. They have teamed up with Hagerty Insurance to provide collector car coverage as well as track day insurance. Our other sponsor that pays the bills here is Beltway Brew Company. Beltway Brewing Company. So for thirsty for an award-winning local craft beer, Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia, and proudly represents the DMV. Try their lineup of original handcrafted IPAs, lager, sour, stouts, and even seltzer. You can order directly from their Beltway's website at beltwaybrewcompany.com for contact-free delivery right to your door, or pick up from their Sterling tap room, as we have Hill onto the pit lane here. We'll see if that's related to the pit stops, or is it related to him having to serve an additional incident limit kind of thing. But I am assuming he's in here for both, if that was even the case. The lead for Rafa there, you can see Trace coming out of the corner here in the back. It's kind of stayed the same, about 2 seconds through most of this race. Lanix dropped back quite a bit, about 4 seconds. Kordenek must have had an off at some point in time because he has dropped back several seconds from Lanik. Treakle's about 3 seconds back, so he's moving up, back up to the 5th position. Bobby Blankenship's up to 6th from 13th. And Brian Kennedy here, 9th. Started 9th, he's running 7th. John Wood, we saw him during the commercial have a quick off. He's back on the track and in the 8th position. So Hill is back on the track here. Fresh tires, maybe not fresh tires, but full fuel. Stephen Tenney was on the pit lane for a really long time, so was Matthew Stover. Hendricks back in 20th position, having started 4th. Really tough luck for him here this week. One of our fastest drivers in the series. Whoa, boy, Lanik there on 3rd, signaling driver in front of him that he was coming up. Peter Yerkes and Tim Bradford battling through the carousel there. Hit that one right at the right time. Let's go on board with one of our sponsored cars here. This is Darren Treakle from Treakle Insurance Agency. So go on board with him. He's about 2 seconds back. He's running in 5th, 2 seconds back from Kordenek up there. Go on board and listen to the sounds of this engine here. On board, you could hear those rumble strips on the cars. When they hit them, it really makes the car rumble. And even through that time, Treakle brought it down to 1.5 seconds. Heading back up to the front in that last lap, Hans here was half a second faster than Rafa in P1, so we're keeping an eye on that battle for the lead. I'll head back also to this battle between Treakle and Kordenek here, because that's also 1.5 seconds. We'll see what happens, and if one of them gets closer, maybe about 1 second, we'll switch over if we have to. Michael Bond on the pit lane. Not on the pit lane, he's dropping back, is what he is, off the track. That car is not for position for Treakle there. That is a lapped car. Getting in the way a little bit. So Treakle is only 1 second back at the moment from Kordenek. So a good battle developing here between the two drivers there. Kordenek starting in the 8th position, or up to 4th. Treakle really on a mission after that first lap melee that he had. Wants to get back up to the front. You can see Hendricks circulating out in the back there. He's got to be really disappointed and just hoping the other cars end up dropping out, because he's currently last of all the cars out here. Treakle's going to have a really good run as they head on to through the kink and the kettle bottoms into Canada corner. I think he's going to pull off a move here coming up. Let's go on board with him here for this. Did not quite have the move ready. over those rumble strips on the exit of Canada corner. Also a good battle developing for the lead there as our leader hits the pit lane. Both Treakle and, or sorry, Rafa and Hans hitting the pit lane. Will Treakle also hit the pit lane? Treakle also hits the pit lane. Very slow pit lane. Lanik hits the pit lane. So Kordanik is going to lead a lap here. If he was leading across the start-finish line, which I don't think he was, but if he stays out another lap, then he will be, as a car goes off in front of him. That is James Salata. So James, keep it off the track. Don't wreck the leader. Blankenship's taking over the P2 spot. Rafa's out of the pits. Oh, and we have Hans has an issue coming off on cold tires there, and he has to reset. Let's quickly look at what happened here. He's going to come out of the pits, and I think he's just going to have, oh, that is horrible. That, you do not want to do that. That is, oh, that's tough break for Chase Hans. So close to getting, working on the leader the entire race, and now he's back in the pit lane. So that's the pressure these cars are under, folks. So Kordanek is our leader. He's going to have to pit here momentarily, though. He's going to have to pit this lap. Through the kink. We're going to have a new winner here tonight. Chris Hill has won all of our races so far this season. We had Hendrick win a race, I believe it was. I might be wrong about that, actually, but we had a non-Hill winner at some point in time. So Kordanek, does he stay out? Does he pit? He's going to opt for the pit. So back here, I saw Hendrick has brought himself back to the lead lap, and he'll be in 18th now. Rafa's going to inherit the lead momentarily as Bobby Blankenship also going to head down pit lane. Rafa's happy about taking over the lead, it looks like. Well, it looks like our lead battle has evaporated because Lanik's going to take over second position and be 9 seconds back. Treakle is going to be back in the podium position, so good for him. Hill's coming, though. He's in 5th position. He's running much faster than he was, so I think he got some car repairs there. He's actually running like 2 or 3 seconds faster than he was previously. Trying to look for any other close battles on the track. Scott Kim is about a second. Well, that Benson was just hitting the pit lane, so Scott Kim is going to take over the 10th position from Benson. We have about 5 minutes to go, but we're estimating about 4 laps left in this race. So Kim has come up to Dean Thuline here in the 9th spot. This is for position. It's only Kim is about a second back. See if he can work his way into that slipstream of Thuline there. Can Kim. So things are pretty spread out here at this point. This is actually the closest battle on the track, although I just found one. Benson in 14th is got Stover in that orange car ahead of him, so he might be able to work on Stover here coming up. We'll cut away if we see any other closer battles up near the front of the field. That 54 car, also there, Yerkes also for position, so he's dropped back quite a bit. It's kind of a three-way battle here between 14th, 15th, and 16th. Four minutes to go in the race here. We'll go on board with Yerkes here as he battles. They just went through the carousel section into the kink here. Yerkes has got a really good run on Benson here. He thought about going outside. He had to get out of it though. Doesn't want to go inside though. Too late. Did not try to press the issue there. Using some curb there through turn number 10 and 11 onto turn 13 or 12 and then 13. 14. They head down the Road America straight. Yerkes is going to pop out inside. Can he make it stick into the first corner? He makes it stick. Takes over that position there. Number 14th position. So Yerkes has got a lot of time or a lot of track to work with ahead of him to get back up into the points paying position of the 10th position. He was in the points earlier. Kennedy is about 2 seconds back from Bobby Blankenship up there. Treakle is running faster laps than Lanik there in second spot. But we've only got a couple laps left here. I think we're going to be exactly 2 laps to go here. We're going to get the white flag next time the leader comes around. Through turn 5 goes Darren Treakle. That's a lot of ground for Treakle to make up here just in 2 laps. Another battle developing here between Dean Thulein and John Wood up there. Only a second and a half between these cars. And that gap is coming down a second and a quarter now. That battle between Treakle and Lanik also coming down as well. We'll see what happens. Thulein over the rumble strips. Oh, we had a little bit of a moment for John Wood, and Thulein is just now right there. I could also hear some crunching of carbon fiber at some point. It wasn't on our screen, but somewhere on the track there was some crunching of carbon fiber. So Dean, can he get around John Wood for that 8th position? Pays a little bit more in the points. And actually heading up to the front, Treakle has brought the lead, or brought the battle for second place to under a second as we head into the white flag lap. 1 lap to go here. Rafa Torres in P1. He's got it under control. He's 10 seconds up the track, but we'll watch this battle with Darren Treakle here. Can he make something work into the final lap here? Quickly heading on to Dean Thulein is also, he's going to go for the move on John Wood there. So that position is sorted there for us. Luckily we made it. Always keeping an eye on the intervals here, making sure we get everything, all the battles out there for you folks. And from what I hear, everybody's very appreciative of that. 3/10 of a second there between Treakle and Lanik, and Lanik trying to signal the cars in front of the lap cars. A little bit of blink there. Gonna have to deal with that 91 car. 91 car opts to go straight, whether intentionally or not. This battle's going to be sorted out in the kettle bottom straight, through the kink, and then the kettle bottom straight, and on to Canada corner. This is where this battle is going to be sorted out from. Treakle's in the prime position. Is Lanik going to guard that inside line in the Canada corner? Seems to have a really good exit, does Lanik, out of the kink. Treakle can't quite make it work. Can he get a better exit out of these corners? It might be a photo finish to the line here for that second position. Treakle Insurance car, Hagerty Insurance card against Peter Lanik. I know he's in the Team Gasburn team. It looks like Peter's going to have it, but we'll see. What can Darren do? It's going to be right at the line here for second position. Peter Lanik is going to take that second position by literally, what do we get? The final number was 0.07 of a second. Great battle there at the end here. Anything else looking here? Brian Kennedy. They asked me to show any crashing that I could at the end of the race here. So here we go. Lanik is going to... I thought he was going to bash into somebody there. But Rafa there, our winner here. We'll get interviews set up. We'll be right back. All right, well, we will pull up Rafa there. Let's see if we can get him up here. Hey, Rafa, this is Matt. Got you up in the booth? Do I have a copy? I don't hear you yet.
Copy. How you doing today?
Good. How about you? So congratulations on winning. So what I was going to say is a lot of the races I've watched here broadcasted, you had a lot of issues on those first laps and get taken out. But this one, other people had issues, and you made it through on this one. It worked out for you. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, well, turn one, it took the better of me not to stay on the gas and just do the thing and brake. Let chaos kind of settle and find a hole and then hope that I didn't get rear-ended, and it ended up working out for the best.
That's right. Yeah, I was just saying that, you know, you're usually up there, but I just noticed that occasionally you're getting involved in some first corner accidents through no fault of your own. But this one, you made it through. You threaded the needle through the hill and Treakle there.
Yeah, it was a very interesting race. One Trace got in front of me. I thought, hey, you know what? I'm just going to save fuel. We got to repit. Started coasting into the corners. But then he made that mistake and handed me P1 and started fighting with Peter. So I just had to manage the race.
Yeah, unfortunately, after the pit stops, he, on cold tires, he looped it coming out of the first corner and he had to reset. So tough break for him because he had a really fast car too.
Indeed, he had good pace. I mean, at some point he was closing the gap and I have to kind of like burn my tires a little bit and get the gap back and then manage it back and forth. But he had pace. I made 3 mistakes one time and he was right there.
It was
me for that.
Yeah, we were watching it. I was keeping an eye on it, and but yeah, then it kind of evaporated. I'm sure you were relieved at that point. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah, really good win here. I needed to double check where are we going next week. I was gonna look at that. Let's see if I can find it. Do you have any clue where we're going next week?
No.
Okay, I've
actually,
got it. We are going to Road Atlanta, so another sports car track. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's my home track, and usually it is a big disappointment. I try to drive it like I drive it in real life, and never works out.
It is so tough with that first corner and then kind of the blind chicane. That'll be really interesting to see how you guys handle that on that first lap. Everybody going into that uphill section and the blind chicane. I don't think everybody's going to make it through there cleanly.
I mean, hopefully we will. Hopefully I'll be closer to P2, P3, and not have a touch on turn one, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, congratulations here. You've got this one back in victory lane here in the series, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yep. All right. We'll get Peter up here in the booth. Hey, Peter. This is Matt up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Matt. Yeah, I can jump in.
Yeah, good race. You started 6th. You wound up finishing in 2nd position. Tell us about your race.
Oh, it's just, I didn't make any mistakes, and this reminded me of the race at Zandvoort, where I ended up 2nd too, I think. I don't think I won it. I think I ended up 2nd, but it just no mistakes. I like this track. I spent a lot of time over here, and fortunately for me, unfortunately for others, there was a little bit of a scrimmage there in turn 1, lap 1. And so I was able to move there from 6th to 3rd, and was trying to hang with Terrence and Rafa, but they're just too fast. So at that point, it became about just protecting that spot.
That's right. Sometimes you just gotta do that. Darren was really photo finish there. You held him off.
Yeah.
I think it was 7/100ths of a second that he was on you there. But
it was really close. I kept looking at the black box, and every lap he would inch just a little bit closer.
Well,
I don't know if he was taking a shortcut somewhere, but there was like a second a lap. It was unnerving.
Yeah, I did see you blinking your lights at one of the lap cars too.
I did.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it was,
you guys made it through there anyway, but yeah, good run there.
That was exciting. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you made it exciting for us. Hey, any shout outs to sponsors? You got a team, I think Team Gasburn. That is your team,
Team
right?
Gasburn, my boys in Team Gasburn. Yep. We go out and do this every week. We practice part of the other league. Just did a 24-hour race at Daytona with Chris Brown, Chris Hill, and Hendrick. So spent a lot of time behind the wheel, even though it wasn't this car and this track. But I feel like that improved me quite a bit. So if anyone's looking to improve, you don't have to do a 24-hour race, but it's all about just seat time, right? Putting in time behind the wheel.
That is right. How'd you guys do in that race?
We did great. We ended up 2nd, actually.
Awesome.
We did the Friday night race. I think there were 7 splits total. We were in the second highest split, and it was an exciting race. We ended up doing it with the 4 of us, and we just didn't really make any mistakes. We didn't crash the car. We had some very minor repairs that we had to take, but we never fell worse than, I want to say, 3rd. And then we just had a slightly better strategy toward the end. Chris Hill was crunching numbers toward the end of the race to figure out pit stop strategy, and it worked out to our favor. Yeah.
You might have actually been in the race with some of my buddies then. They were running the P2 car, but Caleb Bensey, Cohen Evans, and Alex Van de Zandt, if you remember any of those names from that race, but I think they were in the 2nd split on Friday night. That was the one to be in anyway, because they had all those issues on Saturday.
They had so many. I guess it's just this hugely popular growth of iRacing, and the servers couldn't serve up all the traffic Saturday morning. So I think it ended up being delayed.
I was just amazed by the amount of people, like in other Discords that I'm in, that were saying, like, I wouldn't have expected them to do that race, and then they were like, "Oh, I'm doing that race." It's like literally everybody was running that race. So it
was like a seat of the pants decision. Friday night, having beers and saying, you know what, I think there's a 24-hour race starting tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Well, let's drink to that and see how that goes. So I think they had like 55 splits on Saturday, so
Yeah.
it's just it's great to see that iRacing's become so popular. I don't know what the stats looked like last year, but imagine there's got to be more cars this year.
I looked at some stats. I know we're like getting off topic here, but I looked at some stats and just like because since March of last year, the like monthly numbers for iRacing are like way higher all of a sudden, and I think most people have kind of like stayed around for the most part. So. Anyway, that was pretty off topic, but really good run here, and we'll get an interview with Darren, who's waiting for his interview.
Pull him in. All right, thanks, Matt. Good catching up with you.
Yep.
You too. Bye.
All right, we'll get Darren up here. Hey, Darren, this is Matt up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Matt, I do.
We were sort of, me and Peter were a bit off topic there for a bit, so you had to wait a little bit longer.
No problem, no problem.
But you're the one paying the bills, and you got back up there. You had an interesting first corner. Tell us about that, but you did make it back up to the front.
Yeah, no, me and Chris came together. I think it was just kind of I think it was a racing incident. He apologized, I apologized. I probably squeezed him a little bit. There was room, but there wasn't a lot of room there for him. So yeah, just one of those things. We're both going for it, and then. Then it was just a matter of putting my head down and trying to work my way back up through the pack. That's really the gist of it.
Let me see. I think you had the fastest lap of the race, by the way. You might have been faster in the race than you were in qualifying. I see a 2:01.788 was your fastest lap in the race. I don't know what your qualifying was, but it was.
I think my qualifying was a 2:01.9.
Yeah, so I think maybe you had some slipstream or something on that one, and following Peter or something like that, it might have helped you out with the speed there during the race.
It is possible. I usually get in a little bit better groove in the race. I've got some rabbits out there I'm chasing, so it does kind of help out a little bit.
I think that's a good trait as a driver if you're faster in the race than you are in qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, I really would love to finish in front of Chris just once on qualifying. But he's really good. I'm close, but I just haven't seemed to get there. But at the end, it really all that matters is where you finish in the race.
That's right.
So if I can at least get on the front row or at a minimum the second row, it's anybody's race in my opinion at that point.
Hey, I see that you have an updated livery on your car, a new paint job. That is new, right?
It is new. It's new as of like yesterday. A friend of mine, did that for me. It's supposed to basically it replicates my real race car is what it's supposed to be doing. So we still have a little fine tuning and some adjustments to do, but it's starting to look pretty good.
Well, yeah, it looks really good. Treakle Insurance, Hagerty Insurance on there. GMG, I'm not sure what that is, but you can tell us about it if you want.
Well, GMG's Global Motorsports Group.
Okay.
So they're actually an outfit based out of California, run by James Safronis. And they run in the World Challenge. I guess now it's SRO World Challenge. Have for years. Just a little backstory with that. So I bought a BMW race car last year. That's what the paint scheme is supposed to mimic. And he actually, James Safronis, it was the car that kicked off his career professionally back in like 2004 or 2005. So he originally drove the car along with Nick Johnson, but and now he's got his own Global Motorsports Group out in California and rents cars out and maintains them, and they're all like Porsche 911 GT3s or I think Audi R8s or something that he's done some stuff with. So he's been around for a long time. So
very cool.
Yeah.
What I was talking to Peter about a bit was you didn't do the 24 hours last weekend, did you?
I did, but I did it with some guys from the Vintage Racing Group league.
How did you do?
Well, we finished 12th. I think it was 12th. But at that point, we we parked the car at like, I want to say like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just because at that point we couldn't improve, and the car was in rough shape. We were about 5, 6, maybe 7 miles an hour down on the oval,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But everybody else behind us was parked and out of the race. So
Okay,
we
yeah.
so we parked the car, and then a couple of guys got up in the next morning and just finished it and drove across the finish line.
So that you were there. I mean, that occasionally happens even in real life, I think.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
they
no,
repair the car and then at least they get it to the end,
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was fun. I remember one year not at Daytona, but at 24 Hours of Le Mans, back when Corvette Racing was
Mhm.
running. They were running the GT1 car. I think they had enough of a lead that they pulled the car into their garage, cleaned it for the photo shoot at the end of the race, and then took it back out and finished and took the checkered or
Yeah,
something
isn't
like
there a
that.
rule there about you actually do have to be drive across the start finish line
Oh
to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually
You have to
get
drive
the
across.
points or
Yeah,
whatever it is? So yeah,
yeah,
you can't just drop out.
yeah. No,
Like in
no.
some other series, you could do something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. Well, unfortunately, I didn't do the 24-hour, but I did run a 12-hour about a month ago or so, and that was an experience. We ran the HPD. I'm usually running prototypes or Indy cars. That's kind of similar for me.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't do as much of the GT. I don't do the tin tops as much. That's what I
I
call those.
see.
Yeah. But very cool. Good run here today. And next
Yeah.
week we're going to Road Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Um,
Road Atlanta is another familiar track.
it sounds like it's Rafa's home track. So might have to do a little bit of extra practice to get up there with him.
Yeah. Raf's a good at like Chris. He's a good at a lot of tracks.
Yep.
So I know he's had some technical difficulties for the last few weeks, but yeah, you can never count him out. So especially at tracks because I think he lives in that area. I think
I
I
believe
know.
so, yeah.
Yeah, because I know he goes to VIR a lot, and then Road Atlanta, and I think there's some other tracks. I think he lives in either North Carolina or South Carolina.
He had some pictures from Homestead, the oval there, but they have a roval there. But
Yeah, oh, yeah,
that is actually
Miami.
a really
Yeah, Miami Homestead.
cool
Yeah,
roval. One of the best in my opinion. So,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, really good run, and we'll see you next week. Do you want to do any final shout outs for Treakle Insurance?
I shout out to Andrew at Hagerty, for coming on board and doing this with me. I appreciate it. So,
Yep. Well, we appreciate you having us broadcast, and we'll keep doing it here.
absolutely. Thanks, Matt.
Yep. Have a good night.
You
See you
too.
next week. Thanks.
Alrighty. Bye.
All right, that's it for us here, folks. Let's go through the final grid here. This was round number 9 of the BMW Car Club of America. Rafael Torres there in P1, Peter Lanik in P2, Darren Treakle in P3, Colin Kordenik in P4, Christopher Hill in P5, Brian Kennedy in P6, Bobby Blankenship in P7, Dean Thuline in P8, John Wood in P9, Scott Kim in P10, Brian Hare in P11, Peter Yerksa in P12, Michael Bond in P13, Robert Benson in P14, Matthew Stover in P15, going on to the final 5. And here was Hendrik Deswart, Stephen Tenney, James Salata there. He was the rookie here, first race of the season. He was in P18. And then we've got Tim Bradford in P19. Trace Hance, unfortunately, had that tough incident there. And I don't think he came back out after that one. That was heartbreaking there for him, I think. So anyway, Road Atlanta next week, and we will see you guys there. Same time, same place. Take care for the week, and we'll see you then.